So I think we can start, sir. Dr. VK Singh. We are live, sir. So, and we already have people joining in. So,
Okay.
and Mohit, again, we have three panelists, Abhik, Harman, that I mentioned to you, are young innovators, and Dinesh Ji is an award-winning journalist. So, coincidentally, his book has come out, the second book, India Innovation, Not Jugaad. So he's also joining us today.
Great.
And yeah, so maybe I'll invite Dr. VK Singh, Managing Director of InnovatioCuris, to start the session and set the context for the meeting today. And I would request all the participants to keep writing in the chat if you have any questions. Of course, we'll break out for a Q&A session also later. But the structure of the program would be that once Dr. Singh would be setting the tone, we'll invite Dr. Mohit Gambhir for as a chief guest for sharing few words about his experience promoting innovation in the country. And then we'll have 15 minutes of chat with each of the panelists today that we will discuss a bit more later. And then we'll open for the Q&A. So I would request Dr. VK Singh to start the program now.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, Sachin, for introducing me. I think it gives me, today is our 11th virtual club meeting, and today I got a lot of pleasure because there is people who are in the screens. They are from 18 year, they are from 13, 14 year up to 75 year. So there's a very huge thing that how people are reading about innovation, writing about the book, but they are the younger lot who is doing a lot, and who is the one who is going to take the country to the next level. I am so pleased that Dr. Mohit Gambhir, Director Innovation, Ministry of Education, is here. He will also tell something where youngsters can be encouraged, and they are the one who can be brought in, that how they can be benefited. I've got a Harmanjot Singh. I've been habit-wise searching around for the incubators. So I found class 9th boy from Jammu, where I have served in uniform, and we had a lot of conversation in Hindi, English, Punjabi, and he was very happy that I know Jammu so well because I was there for almost 3 years, served in uniform. So he's the one who at that young age, in class 9th, that he brought the app, and including one for the mental health, and he got the national award by the Prime Minister of India, one of those younger lot who get awards. So he was one of the innovators category. Abhik has been also had his company. He's also been awarded by the President of India, and Mr. Dinesh, Dr. Dinesh has been our friend. I've known him for many years when he was from the days of India Science Wire, and his book is excited that which has been released, 100 Innovations which Transform India. So this has been really so good that I have an opportunity of such people which have been collected. The whole aim of the InnovatioCuris is that innovation in cure, where I am there, and then Sachin is there. Sachin is the one who is a technology fellow. I am the one who is the doctor. So we have a wonderful combination, and our back-end teams of the people that we are taking the initiative forward. And we have a magazine which has got some 93,000 people globally who read, and we want that all innovators, real innovators, their things should be published. Harmanjot's interview we are publishing this time. Dinesh Bhai is a guest column we'll be publishing next time. We will rope in Abhik and other people too. Idea is let people know what is happening around. India was really in the budget, and the Prime Minister have been also talking about innovations, unicorns, etc. In fact, we had an opportunity of the Ministry of Education of a hackathon and ideathon where Dr. Gambhir was also one of the person who is the organizer, that we did that, and the Prime Minister was there, and he really appreciate that we are connected to such a good group. It is something which really excites us, and we will take the whole idea that everyone know what it is. Though we are 40th in the innovation index in 2021, we were 46 in 2000. But what interestedly, what Prime Minister has said, that was really great, that India is now home of 81 unicorn with total valuation of 279 billion US dollar. Of these, 43 are with USD 89 billion, which happened in only last year. 43 of them happened last year. US is a top in number of unicorn, while India is the fourth in that after China and UK. It is something. Let us strive for the best. We are also in the decacorn. The 2022, 46 companies have been into, and out of them 4 are from India. I am striving and that we should have companies, more opportunities. Pandemic has forced us to really come and do the frugal innovations, real innovation. Vaccine have been lauded all over the world. So we have what many times we importing some of the things, now we are exporting. So the challenges has brought us our own way of settling things. Though there is also a word of caution for the younger lot, that IBM has have done the study, and it says 90% of Indian startup fail within first 5 years of inception and close down. So this is not only getting a billionaire, a unicorn and DACA, but you also have to think on that. I'm so great that I would not take much of your time, and I would hear the whole conversation, and most of the younger lot. And I thank Sachin, who is Double Master from the Europe into the cyber security, and also he is an ethical hacker, and he's conducted some of the cyber security in health program, which is even coordinator of the Prime Minister's office, has really encouraged us to do so. He's also doing something in artificial intelligence courses, etc. So he's our technology backbone, and let us hope that we will have more interaction, little introduction by talking what we have done. We have already read and benefit all the participants who are there. Over to Sachin. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for giving us the context about the innovation in India. And without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Mohit Gambhir, who I have also pleasure to call him as a friend, not just as a professional contact. Dr. Gambhir has a lot of achievements, and he's a renowned expert in intellectual property. And innovation is not just a topic where he happens to be accidentally, but I think quite well, engrossed and deep into this topic. And Dr. Gambhir, we would like to learn from you what is keeping you busy at the Ministry of Education and how you are pushing the boundaries when it comes to promoting innovation in the country. So over to you, Dr. Mohit.
Thank you, Sachin. Thank you so much. And I would like to thank Dr. VK Singh for giving me this platform to interact with generations like you mentioned, to Harman, Abhik, and Dinesh Ji. It is an honor to be here, and also to give the message to the people or the audiences who are listening us or who are going to hear this recording. As such, I would say these are the real wonderful times when we say a lot of action is happening on the ground, and I was also going through the glimpses of Dinesh Ji's book, Indian Innovation, Not Jugaad. The thing is, overall, I always say, and that I always firmly believe in, to me, innovation, it means, or it lies in, definition for innovation for me is the thing which make our lives wonderful, the thing which makes our life beautiful, the better place for us to live in. Anything that caters to this particular objective is innovation for me. Beyond that, I never say that, okay, there are a lot of, technology that comes in, it's an enabler. A lot of other things that come in, by the time they will come in, they will enable, they will act as a catalyst. But ultimate objective and the goal as a social being, it leads to what it has to be to make this overall environment wonderful, not only for us, for everybody to live in, to fit in. So going through like Harman's portfolio, what he has developed, and even Abhik's things, like the 19-year-old chap and incubated out there. Wonderful tasks you guys are doing, and I'm really proud that young innovators like you people are doing it. And I can see a lot of kids, they are coming in, and pardon me again, I should not use a word again, kids. You guys are wizards, right? It's not about kids anymore. It's again the best time. We, as in, I say the middle-aged people, and I'm sure Singh, he must be admiring the time we are able to see the whole transition. The middle-aged fellows like me and Sachin, what we have seen from mono to color to internet age to whatnot, right? And everything is going around us. Regarding the programs and focusing on all these things, around 4 years ago, we started Smart India hackathons in the country. That started happening. And particularly in higher education space, we started through Ministry of Education. In the very first year, there were only 40,000 students that participated. And slowly and gradually it matured. In second edition, 70,000. Third edition, 2 lakh students. Fourth edition, 3.5 lakh students. Now it's fifth edition running in, and we are anticipating more than 1 million students, they are going to participate. And the best thing is, in this fifth edition, I have also introduced SIH Junior Track. So Harman, there is an opportunity for you now. It's like school students from grade 6th to 12th, they are also eligible to participate in Smart India hackathons. Smart India hackathon is world's biggest open innovation model, and by this model, what we are doing is, and for the college students or the teams, what they form, and the team by they come in, what we come up and we say, the departments, the government bodies, the ministries, they submit problem statements to us, and students from colleges, they participate in the team of 6 and try to solve or give the solution to that particular problem. And each winning team, they get somewhere around 1 lakh rupees as a prize money. Okay. But for juniors, prize money would be less. On the contrary, juniors, they would be entitled to come and showcase their innovation. They have no bound. There are themes, and they can just jump in those themes, students from grade 6 to 12th, and then they can submit the entries through their school. There is a procedure which is being laid down on sih.gov.in, and the event is going to happen in June particularly. Okay. Having said all these things about Smart India hackathons, and in collaboration with InnovatioCuris, what we did under the guidance of Dr. Singh, with the support of Sachin and the whole team, India went into lockdown on March 22nd or 24th, I believe, 2020. Right, that was the date somehow when Honorable Prime Minister said, considering the scenario, the pandemic stuff, we need to have the lockdown. Just a day prior, sensing how the world is moving, we were in talks, and Sachin and I, we were discussing a couple of things, and we decided in a fly that let's come up with ideathon focused on pandemic. People here, you guys will be surprised to know that we worked in a very stringent timeline. Like 22nd March, I got the file running, we got the approvals. 24th March, event was announced. 26th March, it was the deadline. 27, 28, 29, 30th event went live. 31st, the prize winners announced. Within 2 days, we got or we received more than 11,000 participation. 11,000 participants they onboarded. And then we also managed to give them some prizes. Some wonderful solution came out of it. Then we moved on. We together worked on for Samadhan, another line in the event, which gave few solutions that really helped in COVID fighting for the administration, for the government, and a few of the teams they got incubated from the government support. And that's how we keep on doing. We moved on. We learned from this. And during COVID time, from Ministry of Education, and we organized Toy Hackathon. I'm not sure how many of you heard of again that again I launched and initiated. It was 6 ministries program. School students, they were involved as well. Many a times again a question comes in: what happens when a student participate in these kind of events and teams they win the prizes, and then what? In Toy Hackathon, what I did, I had 117 winning teams. We talked to our another line ministry, that is the DP, IIT, Department of Industrial and Innovation Trade, Industry Trade, under Ministry of Commerce. We joined hands and we requested them to invite all the toy manufacturing associations. We talked to those toy manufacturing companies. We managed 43 or 44 of those toy manufacturing companies to come on board and talk to these winning teams. The solutions given by these students, out of 117, I'm proud to say 40 were from school students, right? So you can see the major chunk was from school students, some 8 to 10 were from startups, and then remaining 67, they were from higher schools, higher education institutions, that is college students. Now the point is, these 43 manufacturers and manufacturers of the size like Fun School, Hamleys, Powerlay, they are talking to these winning teams. Licensing, hand exchange, it is happening. Imagine the scenario where a team, the solution which is indigenously made, today we say India's 85% of toys, they are imported. They're not manufactured in-house. They are not manufactured indigenously. Out of these 117, even if 15, 20, 30 of the products, they are being manufactured by these big manufacturers after doing this licensing and hand exchange, and it happens in India. Imagine the kind of scenario we are opening for young entrepreneurs to come and jump on the ship and take the sail through. Like guys like Harman. Imagine Harman is today talking to a company, exchanging or negotiating a licensing deal for the toy or for any product he has made. By the time he enters into college, my goodness, he would have funded everything. So imagine the kind of action that is happening on the ground. So we are doing this to strengthen the innovation ecosystem in the schools from my innovation cell. So what we have done in past 2-3 years, we started institutions, innovation councils in higher education institutions across the country to bridge the gap in design thinking, critical thinking, cognitive skills, and all kind of that. But taking clue from there, we are now going to launch school innovation councils. And at a stretch, at a one go, we are going to announce more than 10,000 school innovation councils. So at the very inception, we will be having 10,000 schools in India having these SICs. We have already trained teachers in more than 25,000 schools in India on design thinking, innovation, IPR, entrepreneurship, tech transfers, commercialization, HR sales, financing, boot campus, how to make that boot camp arrange, business plan, like kind of B plan activity. These teachers, if not completely trained, but they are aware of the jargon. So now they are aware of the terms at least, so they may not shed away the student away. At least they can act as a facilitator and guide them properly, that I don't know, but you can take help from these and these institutions. So awareness, information dissemination, we are trying to have it in plenty. And the SIC's task would be to maintain and to create that kind of environment among the schools, and then so that student when moves to a college moves to IICs attached with innovation institution innovation council from school innovation council. A kind of parallel map in innovation can happen, so entrepreneurship can flourish. And if a student is not able to become an entrepreneur, everybody cannot, everybody, it's not everybody's piece of cake, but that student can actually have some hands-on kind of situation and become a very successful entrepreneur. Any company, any task, wherever you're going to work for, you have to, your brain tunes like you can think loud, you can think differently, and make our country more proud in bringing some indigenous products, bringing some other things. It is not like I say, you cannot make it a day's activity. It is over the course of it is a kind of perpetual thing. You have to build day by day, step by step, you know. And I'll not finish before I highlight few of the action in IP space, which is very, very close to me, patents and everything, which I do in plenty and doing since almost 1.5 decades now. From my innovation cell. And again, like Dr. Singh mentioned, in Global Innovation Index, we are at this level. Yes, we are improving. But the point is, we are really poor in docketing mechanism. And I believe as a country, as the kind of activities we are doing or the other thing, we must be somewhere there in top 15 or 20. We deserve that. But because of poor docketing mechanisms, because of poor information collection mechanisms, we are not where we should be. On the contrary, now coming to patents, China in practical, if I say per annum, they file more than 15 lakh patent applications. In US, the number is somewhere around 6.5 to 7 lakhs, if I'm really close. And in India, it is close to 55,000. See the gap, see the parity. So we people must know that Bodhik Sampada, that is this intellectual property, must be protected. It is the next wave. It has the, like we said, data is the mine of today, the gold mine of today. We have to say that IP, the intellectual property of an individual, we should strive to protect it. Let it be open. We should know the ways how this IP can benefit the masses, but we should protect it so that we, what happens if we are not protecting our IP? Some bigwigs is coming and they might be filing their, that's very similar IP to our patent offices, getting the things in. And if it is like, we many times as a common man, if I say, "Arey yaar, ye to mera idea tha," if that's okay, it was my idea. But what I did, I never protected it. I never filed for IP. If I would have done, if I would have set for some other developments, things would have been different. So that kind of culture I'm trying to bring or develop through my innovation cell. And this year I am targeting that at least 10,000 patent applications must be filed from education institutions. And we are giving as in a grant the basic filing fee and examination fee, so that students or the faculty members, they can feel motivated and move around and go ahead so that things can be taken forward. I like to sum up here. Yes, I know the time is of the essence, but my heartiest congratulations to the panelists and to Harman, Abhik, and Dinesh ji. Would like to hear more about what you have written in your book. I have gone through the glimpses. They are really wonderful. And the topic is really, really very close to me, and 100 thing, even index is very, very mesmerizing. All the very best to everyone. Thanks, Dr. Singh, and thank you, Sachin and Sanjay. Even Alok, if you can hear me out there. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care.
Thank you, Dr. Mohit. And I really appreciate not just the words that you said, but also the approach the Ministry's Innovation Cell has done, which is of inclusiveness, that private people like us and innovators like Harman or Abhik, that we are all together on a single platform, and not just today, but like the kind of programs you have mentioned. I think actions speak louder than the words. So we are grateful to you for your leadership and support, and I look forward for continuous collaboration with you in times to come. Thank you. Thank you again. So as I mentioned that for this program today, we have 3 panelists, and I would be doing some kind of a initial discussion with them for 15 minutes each. So we start with Harman. And I know, Harman, that you have a small slide show that you want to present to us. But before we get into slideshow, maybe I will ask you a couple of quick questions so that everyone knows you. So I believe you are studying in a school in Jammu right now.
Yes, sir.
Correct? So what's the name of the school and
Yes, sir. So I'm studying currently in grade 9 at Jodamal Public School, Jammu.
right, right. So do you have a favorite subject already or?
Yes, sir. Sir, not calling them as subjects, but instead calling them as my best friends. So my best friends are physics, mathematics, and most importantly, computers.
Oh, very nice, very nice. I have learned a few things about you from Dr. VK Singh, but I believe you want to first give your presentation and then probably we take it from there. So over
Sure,
to you,
sir.
Harman.
So first of all, it's my humble gratitude, and it's a great honor for me that today I've been called as a panelist for the club meet of InnovatioCuris. And I'm thankful to you, sir, as well as Dr. VK, sir, because they gave me the opportunity to present myself on this big platform today. So starting my presentation, so today I would be speaking about myself as a young innovator, how my journey shaped, what I have achieved, and also about technology and innovation, which according to me is the need of the hour for any student or anyone in the world. So introducing me, I'm a grade 9 student, passionate and enthusiastic about applying computer programming in STEM. I've been conferred with the Pradhan Mantri Rashtriya Bal Shakti Puraskar 2021 under the category of innovation, which is the national highest civilian honor for children. And along with, I'm also a certified full stack developer, Olympiad gold medalist, and a young member and a researcher at the New York Academy of Sciences. I'm a learner by passion, and learn and grow is my motto every day. As I said, my best friends are physics, computer status technology, and mathematics. It has rightly been said by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, change is crucial. It brings new thought, and new thought leads to innovative actions. And this is the line which I remember all the times when I try to innovate something for the social cause. And that is why, coming to my innovations, well, what I developed as a young innovator are 3 mobile applications, namely the Raksha Women Safety app, the Kamify Mental Healthcare app, and the CyberBuddy Anti-Cyberbullying app, which are all available on the Google Play Store so that they can be downloaded by anyone. And the motto behind these apps is to work for the social cause so that the people could access these services in their life and could benefit from it. Talking about my first application, which is called the Raksha Women Safety app. So this app is mainly made to ensure the safety of women. And I've developed this app, leaving no stone unturned to make world a much safer place for women to work and live with an utmost safety and no fear. Because if women are part of the workforce of the economy of India, then we are going to achieve those heights that no country achieved before. So for my Raksha Women Safety app, I was awarded the Bal Puraskar and the Raksha Women for the Raksha Women Safety app, as well as for my Olympiad achievements and achievements in competitive examinations as well. So it was my honor and a golden opportunity to interact with the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji on 25th January 2021. And below this, you can see I was acknowledged on Twitter by various ministries and Honorable Prime Minister, Sir, Honorable Vice President of India. And I was also covered by various media agencies and newspapers. And this was such an experience that I had never even thought of experiencing before. Nothing like this had happened to me before. And I'm really honored to get this award. So along with, I also got the opportunity to interact with Minister of State, Prime Minister's office, Dr. Jitendra Singh, and as well as the district magistrate, Mr. Anshul Garg. So it was an honor for me to interact with them, and with Dr. Jitendra Singh, it was such a lively conversation, and we talked a lot about science and technology and what all innovations that are happening nowadays. talking about the second application which I had developed, it is called the Gamify Mental Health Care app. As you know, emotional and mental health is important as it encompasses our psychological, emotional, and social well-being. Considering this quintessential, I developed this application, which I believe will surely help people to cope with stress. For the Gamify app, I was awarded Certificate of Achievement and first position at IIT Jammu's coding competition. I was also honored in Awam Ki Awaaz episode by Honorable LG of J&K, Mr. Manoj Sinha. I was also a finalist at the IIT Roorkee's Techzibition, which is a technical exhibition held at their annual Technical Fest. I was also awarded Best App Award in National Youth Ideathon held at IIT Delhi, and also a national finalist in the IRIS National Science Fair. Going to IIT when I'm not even in a college and a school student was such a lifetime experience for me, because I was able to see the atmosphere, the facilities provided at India's premier institute that is in technology, that is IIT. So I couldn't tell much about this. It was a lifetime opportunity. Achievements in my Olympiad exams are international rank 1 in mathematics Olympiad, in National Cyber Olympiad, and international rank 2 in National Science Olympiad. So because of my Olympiad achievements, I've also been receiving the annual Academic Excellence Scholarship for the years 2021, 2019, 20, and 2018-19 sessions. So consecutively for 3 sessions. Recently, so I was also invited for the Byju's Young Genius show, showcasing unique and very few child prodigies that was telecasted on the Network 18 channels and on News 18. And I got the golden chance to also travel to Mumbai for the shooting. And it was a mesmerizing experience over there. It was mesmerizing because I got the lifetime opportunity to interact and to share the stage with senior anchor Anand Narasimhan sir, Tokyo Olympic star Lavlina Borgohain ma'am, and CEO of Amul, Dr. R.S. Sodhi sir. Also, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam said in his autobiography, thinking is the capital, enterprise is the way, hard work is the solution. And this is my motto. And now coming on to the main topic. Well, what is technology innovation? And a new term, technovation. Technology is a branch that deals with engineering or applied sciences. So it's just engineering, but it is combined with mathematics and computers and all those things related to programming as well. And innovation necessarily doesn't mean that it has to be related to technology. It could be anything that helps people mainly at that pain point. So for example, if a person is having a pain point, so if you empathize with him, then you are innovating something that is able to make lives of people better. And rightly, it has also been said by Dr. Gambhir sir. So it is the thing that actually makes the life of people better. And that is what I keep in my mind as well. And technovation is a new radical approach that has been developed by innovators, which is short for technology as well as innovation at the same time. It means developing ideas, products, mobile application, hardware things, and all those stuff which use technology to make the lives of people better. And they mainly involve both innovating in technology side. Technological revolution of the future. Well, every day people around the world come up with a lot of new ways to make the future brighter. From agriculture to transport, technology is changing the way we live our lives, interact with those around us. Well, with these technological innovations, the world is becoming a more seamless place where almost everything is possible. It is available to us at any place, anytime. Well, a new technology, that is metaverse, it is making anything available to us at any time, anywhere, and we could experience anything, whatever you believe. And also there are some technological revolutions of the future, such as self-driving vehicles, AI, machine learning, blockchain technology, etc. 42% believe technology has improved their lives. 4.66 billion users use technology in their daily life. And 91.9% people believe future will be pivoted to information technology. Now, my recipe of a tech-savvy and innovative mindset would be inspiration, vision, growth, idea, creativity, and process. How can you be innovative? People talk about that innovating something is very difficult. Well, it's not if you can know this recipe and the process of innovating. First of all, you need to look for something to solve in your surroundings. Look with a wide eye and see the problems in the world. Then you have to take visual notes and collect ideas based on what you saw. Then you have to research on it and give yourself time to digest what you have collected, what ideas you have collected, what problems you have seen in the world. And when you've got one problem to solve, then you try upon it, try it. Because when you try it, one day, you get to the ultimate solution for the problem. Why it's important to develop an innovative mindset? Well, everybody can innovate. The only thing that the person needs is an innovative mindset. It consists of 3 main ingredients, as in a dish, that is creativity, knowledge, and perseverance. Thomas Edison, quoting creative mind, said that it is only 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. The innovative mindset can play with their thoughts. They see new possibilities and opportunities in an out-of-the-box way in everything that is seen with their eyes. At last, my message to my young friends would be that whatever you do, work with passion, perseverance, and with purpose. This is the 3P formula that I follow. As stated by Einstein, every person is a genius. So never stop learning, for when we stop learning, we stop growing. My motto will always be learn and grow. Thank you. And be curious, be inquisitive, be innovative.
So thanks, Harman. I think Dr. Mohit has found a new expert for
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
His future programs. I was thinking all the time, and it's good that Dr. Mohit has switched on his video. Any remarks, Dr. Mohit?
I am again really mesmerized by the thought process which Harman has shared. See, when your peer is into all these things, I believe other end up doing a lot of things. And that's what I always say. Society is far more important in making us innovative. It's our surroundings that makes us to think what we are doing. And if a guy like Harman is there, I'm sure his all peers, his friends, even his family members, they must be going gaga about different things. And initially people must be thinking and must be telling him, "Hey, Harman, tu kive kar lenda hai na?" And then I'm sure afterwards, when you start making them know, it's just like this. So it is a kind of increasing the intelligence quotient day by day, which I'm very happy that Harman has reached or scaled up. And from
Thank
there,
you so
sky
much,
is the
sir.
limit. You must make your peers also, to make a kind of wagon and move forward. Kudos to you, Harman.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So I will not ask a lot of questions because we're running out of time, Harman, and I think you have already summarized beautifully, with a clarity of a very mature expert would have brought about innovation. And of course, we have other experts also who would shed light on this topic. But tell me one thing on a very personal level, how has life changed for you? Are you able to find time for normal things in life, or you are always busy with your task at hand? कैसी है अभी लाइफ? काफी बिजी है, दोस्तों के लिए टाइम है, बाकी चीजों के लिए टाइम है?
So after I got the Bal Puraskar, once I got really busy and I was motivated to do a lot of things. But then I also realized the importance of the hobbies, what you do in your pastime, how you enjoy your life foremost. Because when you enjoy your life, when you're passionate about something, then only you would be able to do something in an academic side of life as well. And to do that, like I'm an ardent fan of Formula One racing. I watch football matches, and I really like to talk with my friends and have a short gossip with them every day. So it really freshens up my minds. And so I divide my time so that I get time for these things as well.
Yeah, perfect. I think it's a great answer, and I think as long as you keep all the what do you say, small pleasures of life with you, I think you have a long way to go. And Dr. Kalam, you quoted him many times, so let me also quote him once. So he has one quote which is called "Small aim is a crime." So maybe you are the one of the persons who would do something big, and don't go for something small. So stay with us. I think there will be questions towards the end which may be directed at you. So in the interest of time, let me move to now Abhik. So warm welcome, Abhik. You're logging in from Mumbai, I believe.
Yes.
So can you also give a short introduction about yourself, who you are, where are you coming from?
So first of all, thank you for inviting me in this session and giving me this opportunity to speak to you all. Right. So yeah, so I come from West Bengal. So I was born and brought up in West Bengal in the northern side of West Bengal, Siliguri side. And from there onwards, I have been very fascinated towards technology. So the first desktop, you can say, was what my father bought for me, and it was the only one in my village. So I think that is something that's very exciting for me even till now. And I was very sure from the beginning that look, this thing that we have, this computer, this technology stuff, it's going to change everything. I mean, if you see, there's a magician, right? Whatever we used to see in the Disneys and all, the magician, I think this thing is exactly what is magic in reality. It's just that I think a lot of people are not experiencing the magic or not able to identify the true power of technology. So that has been the true game changer for me. So in my school days, I used to honestly, I am not a very school kind of a kid. So I always used to look into computers, technology, coding stuff, and so on. My grades were decreasing for this particular reason that I was completely on computer. All of my other grades are very, very low on this. So, and I think my teachers were also saying like, you should focus on a diverse subject, which makes sense. But then, this thing is like magic. And once you have magic in your hands, I don't think you need to look for anything else, right? So I thought let's start with something. And by class 10, I dropped out of school. I mean, even class ICSE, the last class 10 board exams was something my parents forced me to do it. Else I would have rather, skipped and started something else. So from there onwards, I started a company called Oregon. It was a search engine. Again, completely crazy idea. Thousands of investors saying this is completely crazy. You're going against something or somebody or some company who is the world leader in what they are doing. And I think from my end, it was something like a way towards building something. And I was morely fascinated towards the technology that's behind Oregon that we were building that time. So from there onwards, I started looking for investors, and I came onto this entrepreneurship and building companies model and so on. I got an investor in Mumbai, angel round. Got it. I think it was my physics exam. I was closing my term sheet, and and tomorrow I had a board exam, and today I was closing my term sheet. So we're negotiating the equity and all stuff. Very new for me, very, very exciting thing. And I think I was not interested even to go to the exam. Again, parents forced me to go that. So as soon as my math exam got over, class 10, I immediately came to Mumbai, and I was very excited to start the company. We started in a shop. It was above a shop. It was like a small 2-room area wherein I had my desktop and couple of people around me. And then we started hiring absolutely challenging. Nobody trusts, nobody wants to come and join us because it's a very crazy idea. We are going against somebody who is very big, and I am just, at that time I was in 15, and that was a very challenging phase, the entire year. And great stuff. We learned a lot. We did a lot of technology, AI, artificial intelligence, some part of computing that is like distributed computing and all, absolutely fascinating stuff, cybersecurity, indexing, database systems and all. During that course, we met a lot of investors, again, rejections. And yeah, I think that has been the part to learn a lot. I never say that was anything as a sort of failure. I think it's a learning pipe. And from there onwards, I think in 2018, I got an award from President of India, and I think I was very fortunate to get that. And yeah, and that has been a booster and to motivation. And from there onwards, I moved ahead with the company. But due to some reasons, we had to close it up. I mean, we didn't get any funds, and we were completely out of money and all stuff. No issues. We closed the company. We tried to understand where we went wrong and what kind of technology that we can reuse from there, and we started OnePlay. So initially what we did was we tried to use some of our technology understanding and expertise and the entire year's learning to power technology for other companies. So right now we are working with telecoms, we are working with startups, we are working with a lot of companies where we power their recommendations, their search, and their other AI related backgrounds or technology stuff. And I think that has been going great. We are working with corporates, we are understanding big data, we are understanding the trends. And I think the biggest challenge is building team. And I think every startup in India, at least in India, will have the same problem into building a great team. Without a great team, I think product does not make any sense, or it does not go anywhere. Even if it goes somewhere, it's not till that expectation. So building a team has been very challenging. I don't have a degree. I am just a class 10 out, and neither of some of my colleagues do have. And we were trying to hire from a lot of colleges, IITs and all, but they were not passionate. So we were looking for passionate people who were they just want to work a little more crazy, a little more into stuff. And very difficult. Again, we're continuously finding team, but yeah, we got some good people out there, and we started building something from there onwards. And recently, yeah.
So, just maybe making a bit more interactive. So I think great. So when I started my first company, maybe I was 27. Mm-hmm. So maybe if I have to look back, I would definitely want to start maybe, when you started like 15 years, right? So having so much knowledge about term sheet and that kind of jargon, I think Mohit, you are also smiling, and I think you must be thinking, about reliving, our lives. So it's so great to learn from you, Abhik.
Just to add, Sachin, I did when I was 18.
Right. Good. So I think one thing that stands out in your story, Abhik, and Harman's story is that both of you got exposure to a computer, early on in your life. Of course, one has to be grateful to the situation, because not everyone is that lucky in India. Absolutely. But you were great. I mean, you got this chance maybe because of your parents and their own kind of insight. What kind of one thing leads to another, right?
Correct.
But I would like to understand from you, because you must be having a totally different insight today. How do you see the evolution of internet? I mean, is there something that kind of makes you think that the world is going to change phenomenally from here? Any insights that you would like to share?
Absolutely. So I think I have been fortunate to see the entire evolution. So when I got my internet connection in 2015, we used to get 60 kbps at 500 rupees. Right now, I have a 1 Gbps fiber right now in my home. And I think evolution is great. I mean, internet is connecting things, connecting people, connecting everything together. It's the flow of magic, you can say. It's the flow of magic stick. And with the internet evolutionizing, I think everything is going to change. Education, teaching, everything is going to change. How we connect to people, how we talk to people, how we meet people, everything is going to revolutionize.
Yeah, I mean, just yesterday I was speaking to Devang Tomar. So Devang was one of the first Peter Thiel fellow. Mm-hmm. So Peter Thiel used to give this fellowship to people who would do dropout, right? Okay. So, and Ritesh Agarwal from Oyo and Devang, they both went to US back in the days. And of course, Ritesh started Oyo, and Devang was also working on some startups. So I was just speaking for 1.5 hours yesterday to Devang. So maybe I'll connect you with Devang after this conversation. So it's not that you are the first one. So there are many people from Mark Zuckerberg to Bill Gates who have dropped out. I think what the one lesson we draw here is that it's not about the package of a degree that makes you relevant in the society. It's about the zeal of learning. And I think Harman also mentioned this very many times, that learning every day. And I think one thing that internet has opened up for all of us is that how fast we can learn. It's not determined by the amount of knowledge available. It's determined by our own curiosity and focus. So sounds good, really. And I think what you mentioned about the evolution of internet speed. So India was 120 rank before Geo came, and today India is ranked 1 in terms of per capita data consumption. And you're running a gaming company.
Correct.
So what do you think about the future of gaming in India? Do you have any perspective there?
Yes, I think, I mean, as you said, what is the future of gaming? I think everything is going to game. Everybody, everything is going gaming. I think the generation that we are right now, their go-to sports is going to be gaming. Just like how cricket or football or WWE is there, I think this generation's go-to sport is going to be gaming. And it's not just about gaming, it's about a completely different world that you can opt into, from your daily busy life or whatever. It doesn't matter. In the game, you can, choose what character you want to be, what role you want to play, and then also meet other people and do something together. And I think that part of gaming makes it so interesting, or makes the full potential of internet in a completely different environment or scenario. And I think that what we're trying to do right now here is bring those angles from the gaming to other environments like education and technology and learning, wherein, school students can go wear a VR and understand whatever the subjects are. Like, I want to go to Mars. I haven't seen anything on Mars. I can just put a VR and go inside Mars and view it. I can see with other friends, we can do some party out there. And I think that kind of gamified learning or gamified approach is going to change a lot of things.
Yeah, perfect. So we look forward to, one day be fully immersed in your one play gaming solutions. And I guess I was just recently listening to Tim Ferriss' podcast on metaverse, and he recommended two things. One was the movie, which is available on Amazon Prime. It's called Ready Player One. I don't know if you've seen it. And then he mentioned the book from 1992, Neil Stephenson. It's called Snow Crash.
Snow Crash.
I am listening to that book right now, as these days. And Neil Stephenson was the creator of the word metaverse.
Correct.
And he's quite a cult, among people like Bill Gates and others from the US who are looking into future. So this is for, in general, for people who are interested in understanding the future that is coming. I think, of course, Neil Stephenson could imagine it in 1992, but I think you are working on it, and we look forward to participate in this future, Abhik. And
Sure.
Hearty congratulations again for taking uncharted territory and going into that uncharted territory, not doing things in the conventional way. Although Harman is still in school, I don't know, with your example, he should not give up on school. There are other downside also sometimes, giving up on education. But I think so far so good, and it should stay good for you. And if you can also stay with us, then maybe we'll have more Q&A with the three of you together. But I would like to move to Dinesh ji now. So Dinesh ji, we can have you with your camera. So welcome again, Dinesh ji. So a short intro for everyone. I don't know if Dinesh ji, if you are on mute or you are able to speak.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I think this is better.
Yeah. So just for our viewers and participants today, Dinesh ji is an award-winning journalist, and we have been talking about his book. I don't know if you have a copy of the book. Maybe you could have shown it to us. So I just bought it on Kindle. So it's called India Innovation, Not Jugaad. In fact, this is your second book, if I'm not wrong. The first book was on called The Outsourcer, or it was on the Indian IT industry. And I think book is just one manifestation of your knowledge. But I think all your life you have been reporting on science and technology, and that's probably gives you this wide view on how our society is evolving. In fact, I was reading the introduction of your book, and I was quite fascinated to find a lot of linkages which probably me and you share in a platonic way, because I could find that you have read Walter Isaacson and you have referred Professor Anil Gupta and many other things. But at the same time, I should admit I have not read your book yet. And it looks like there are so many people that you mentioned which are unsung heroes of innovation in India. So I definitely look forward to read your book. But to start with you, Dinesh ji, writing on science and technology, was that cool thing to do 35 years back?
Yes and no, because my first choice was to do journalism as such. And it so happened that when I joined journalism in 1984 with the Press Trust of India, which is wire agency, they were starting this. They had started a couple of years before that the PTI Science Service, which was a very unique, kind of a endeavor at that time to collect information of what is happening in Indian scientific institutions and supply that to the newspaper. As you know, PTI is a supplier of news to different news outlets. So I happened to join that, and so I started my journey in science journalism at that point. So and then, of course, in the 90s, I digressed into IT, telecom, and things like that. I covered the Earth Summit in 1992 at Rio. Then 2 decades later, I had a chance to go to the Arctic. I've written another book on that, my travelogue on Arctic, where I was at the ground zero of climate change, you can say, spending time on an icebreaker as a stage which was collecting data. So it's been a journey like that. So I've been broadly writing on science, technology, you can say, environment and medicine and things like that.
So just that you know, I'm slightly closer to the Arctic. I'm in Oslo, Norway right
I
now.
was told that, yeah.
So it's good to know that you have been here in this part of the world. And
in fact, the second time I went to Arctic, it was to the Arctic University.
Oh yeah.
So first time I went from the Canadian side for the ice to stay on the icebreaker, but the second time was a visit to the Arctic University. That was,
so was it
3-4 years back.
in Tromsø?
Tromsø, yes, exactly.
Yeah, I have been into Tromsø. It's a great place. So just carrying forward this conversation. So when you started and now, I think now I see Professor Vijay Raghavan talking a lot about science communication, and apparently, at least from government's perspective, I think science communication is becoming a big thing. So what has changed in your opinion? I mean, if you look at India as a country, do you really see, I mean, apart from numbers, that the change in innovation, our uptake or our generation of innovation, is that changing, or what's your point of view there?
No, I'm sure a lot has changed in the past, say, 3-4 decades. And one of the speakers was pointing about the internet speed. So I'm reminded he was lucky to get 600 kbps. And when I got my first internet connection in 1994 or 95, the BSNL was the only service provider. The speed was, say, 56 kbps, which is dial-up, and we had to wait for a long time. So, of course, things have happened a lot since then. And in fact, if you go back, when we have seen the times when, even getting a landline telephone was a tall order. So the communication revolution, I think, has really changed a lot of things. And that's one of the things. And secondly, we have put a lot of public money into S&T. If you look at the science and technology infrastructure, it has grown tremendously. And every decade we have had new institutions coming up. It's not as if the first round of institution building, which started soon after independence, IITs, IIM, it was stopped at that point. No, institutions were added. For example, ICERS is the latest edition a few years back, which is a very robust institution. So we have constantly innovated and in our S&T, in building our S&T infrastructure. And I think that has been at the backbone. The inflection point of innovation, revolution, or this new ecosystem which we are seeing is actually building upon our investments in education, investment in S&T infrastructure, investment in building a research, capability. So those we are building upon that that backbone, so to say.
So coming specifically to this book of yours about India innovation, not Jugaad, although you have given some context of why you wrote this book, but maybe I still want to ask you this. why did you write this book and for whom?
Yeah, I think this idea has been there for quite some time. As I said, having been in this profession for long, you've seen many things yourself change. So, and those are the things which have touched the lives of people. I mean, those are the innovations or innovative and transformative ideas which have touched the lives of the people. So I thought, let us document that. That was one reason that I've seen that journey myself for a long time. Second was that I was getting an impression that whenever there was a talk about innovation in India, this thing called jugaad comes into the discussion, which is a bad thing, I would say. And in fact, I've been interacting, you mentioned about Professor Anil Gupta, so I've been meeting a lot of those grassroots innovators and award winners whenever they used to come to Delhi or the exhibition. So, and constantly there was a feeling that what people may not be educated, they may not come from a formal educational institution, but they had ideas. But at times they also were, having worked in several media houses, one would also come across a lot of these so-called innovations which come to you saying that humne ye kar diya hai, humne ye kar diya, that kind of a thing, and people try to put that out in the media. So that kind of created a wrong mindset or even a wrong impression in a popular culture, with media and movies like Three Idiots and people have contributed to that popular culture, that we have always believed in this thing called jugaad, which is a bad thing. So I really wanted to portray, shrug off that image, I would say. In fact, some management gurus have also called that Indian innovation is actual jugaad. But when they're talking of that, they're talking of frugal innovation. So frugal innovation is not jugaad. Jugaad is something which is a quick fix, a transient kind of a thing, which is not sustainable. It may be harmful to some people. So that is the kind of a correction I wanted to do. So then the idea developed that let us also go beyond S&T. See, normally when you're talking of innovation, you're talking of technology, you're talking of, some product and things like that. So the idea was that innovation has been there in several sectors. So then we started looking and identifying, so for example, you'll find here things which happened in the social sector, things have happened in the culture eras, things which happened in the people's movement. So those are also innovative ideas, and they have really made a change in respective fields. So putting together all this, I thought, let's do this. And then, of course, 75th year was a good landmark so that we look back, and we also tend to lose focus at times that, okay, things which are there a part of your day-to-day life, we don't kind of recognize that the journey has been that long for in some of those innovations. For example, one very small example, which is a marketing from the field of marketing. See, the eggs which are available all over India today, the egg market was not like this all the time. And there were cartels working. And I know the one egg used to cost 3 rupees or 5 rupees on one place, and another place it could cost 15 rupees. And so a simple innovation of having a uniform marketing, uniform rate in different markets through use of communication. That time STD phones had just become available. So Dr. B.V. Rao made use of that. He created a network of farmers. So it was a marketing idea, connecting people so that, you don't sell below a certain price and you don't go above a certain price. So that made eggs available all over India at a uniform price. So there were ideas like that, which we needed to recognize, I thought. So that's why I put those ideas as well.
So I see that in your book, many innovations are not like led by a single person, but they are like happening over a period of time, which probably we cannot credit one single person, but it's like a, what is a phenomena in development. And I think when we see like, let's say earlier, probably in typical West, that a lot of young people would, build game-changing companies like Bill Gates or Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg has done. And now we see, for example, the average age probably in India is also coming down. Like we have good examples of Harman and Abhik here. I don't know, the future will tell, but do you see that any change or, of course, from your book's perspective, you wanted to take a historical look, but do you also have any opinion on future to come? Like what is there for India? Do you see any trends or anything during your research that you must have stumbled upon? Or if you like to share any perspective here.
Yeah, of course. I have looked at the macro level and I talked about some examples, but I also looked at some of the micro things. For example, foldoscope is one of the products which I have mentioned. You know, the origami kind of a microscope which you can put together, which costs $1. You know, it is really revolutionizing
Manu
how
Lab,
science education
Harvard,
can
right?
be changed. It's such a frugal Manu, yeah. So it's such a frugal innovation, but it's still it is using high tech and it does involve. So, but it did come out of one single labs, and there were people behind it, a few of them. But it takes a long time. Innovation chain has to go through a dissemination process also. I mean, innovation was done, but how do you disseminate it? How do you manufacture those things? How do you make it available? How do you make the science teachers and students make use of it? In fact, even some of the scientists are making use of it, and it can be also be applied as a medical tool for diagnostic facility and diagnostic tool in areas where there are no diagnostic facilities available. So innovation also has a kind of a life beyond once it is marketed. So it finds applications on its own at times. So those are the kind of things also I've looked. And of course, the ecosystem has changed, as Dr. Gambhir has spoken already about this ecosystem. And when some of the innovations which I have talked, I mean, for a long time, management institutions, technologies, forget about incubation. We didn't have any formal systems or mechanisms to promote innovation or promote even innovative thinking, as Harman very rightly talked. There's a process, but nobody talked about it. So that innovation, that ecosystem has changed. I think that is going to throw up a number of new ideas, new companies, new processes, and that's what is going to happen. Maybe if I write a sequel of it, my book 20 years later, all these ideas, more ideas would be certainly there. Maybe 10 years later, because a lot of things are still in the pipeline and things are happening every day. It's quite revealing that you have these two young innovators, and you must have also seen the recent edition of Shark Tank India. So you see that people are bubbling with ideas. Every idea need not become a business. See,
right.
One thing which I think people should remember, young innovators, that you don't start with the mindset or a goal that I want to become a unicorn, because some of these valuations and those things really people get carried away by all that. So that should not be the focus. I mean, you want to do something, you want to solve a real problem, and you want to make a change. I think that should be the goal. So that's happening in a lot of manners.
Indeed. So from your book, if you were to pick one innovation which is your favorite, I know it's difficult, because if you have written 100, then all 100 are your favorite. But which one will be that? And since we are more focused on healthcare in InnovatioCuris, I'd also like to know which is your favorite healthcare innovation.
Both the questions are very difficult, but the first one I'll not pick. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah,
yes,
am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
I don't see the box. Anyway, so I pick up a set of innovation broadly falling under the category of communication and ICTs, I would say, information and communication revolution, because that is where those are the kind of things which have changed the lives of people, which have touched the lives of people. And that started not at a time when people had access to devices. Today, everybody, I mean, not everybody, but a sizable number of people, 300 million people, if I remember right, have access to a smartphone. So today, people have an access to the device, but the technology started touching the lives of people when people didn't have, the device was not necessary. For example, the railway reservation, it was quite a game changer. The very thought of computerizing and making it accessible to people, you could book any ticket anywhere, anytime, and that kind of revolutionized, and that changed. I mean, the number of people who travel by Indian Railways in a year is humongous. So that was one innovation that changed. Then another one would be the Bhumi, which really led to a number of similar innovation like the computerization of land records, I would say, then C.Dot, which really made, which is kind of a backbone for all the telecom. So that was in the first phase when the access to device was not necessary, but you felt the impact. Banking computerization, it was a huge thing. I mean, you deposit a check today, it would have taken 15 days for it to get in cash. Today it is instant. So that has changed, So that is a set of those are the set of that's the set of innovations I would pick up. And you mentioned about the healthcare. So I mean, again, it's difficult to pick one, but we have just been through the pandemic, or we are still in the process. So one can pick up the whole process of the set of ideas which led to making medicines and vaccines affordable to India. Those are the two. I mean, you look at the average age at the time of independence and look at the average age now, and look at the impact of vaccines, which we have seen in during the pandemic. Every Indian has got, and the billions of doses and things like that, and the cost of medicines, one of the cheapest affordable generic medicines we have. So those are the innovations which I'll really pick up in the health sector. Then you mentioned about the Arvind model. So that is again trying to deliver a service in a totally different way, And in fact, the heart surgery prices coming down not long back. I mean, we had people going from here to Texas, and one of the largest group of patients who went to Texas Heart Institute for South Asians, and out of that, Indians were the large. And today we have the traffic coming back. So there's been a total change, and that has occurred because of not just because of the policy, but because of innovative way of running hospitals. There are multiple innovations part of making this service affordable. So that has really changed things in the health sector, I would say. And of course, now we have the mHealth, and there's another set of regulation with the pandemic has also shown us that telemedicine can be worked out, and there are a lot of mini and micro stuff happening in the telemedicine field.
Yeah, I guess, sir, if you write the sequel of this book 20 years from now, I guess you are going to have a Herculean task. If everything what Mohit is doing and what we see the signal from Harman and Abhik, I guess you need to choose probably from a million.
Yes.
If you have to still do 100 list, I guess still choosing 100 may be difficult for you. But I guess just for our audience, where they can find your book is, I guess I bought it from Amazon, but is there any easy way to get it, or anything that you would like to mention here?
Yeah, that is the easiest way, because both the Kindle edition and the print edition are shipping from there, and other platforms also it is available. And I think it's soon going to be in the stores also, number of stores in India, because the book is out now just for 3 weeks. So that chain is being set up. So
yeah, in fact, I discovered it through social media, and so I think the people who are talking about your book, I think it's a good thing. So you should be happy that the word of mouth is really working. And if not was your book, probably we wouldn't be speaking today. Otherwise we knew you through the company, but I think it was a very nice opportunity to encash your knowledge and get the message out. And thank you for joining us today. And now we would like to invite all of you, if Harman and Abhik, if you can switch on your cameras. Yeah, perfect. So I think now we have a full house, and I would like to welcome all of you once again. And Alok, maybe you can remove the slide. And yes, so if there are any questions, please let us know. We can give you the mic access. You can also type your question in the chat. But maybe I would like to now just do a open Q&A and maybe ask Dinesh ji again, after listening to the two fellow innovators here, any remarks from your side, because you have been in this field for last 35 years.
No, I have not had a chance to look at their work, but I've just listened to both the presentations, and I think both are full of ideas and they're going ahead with whatever they're doing. And I think Abhik had won this GYTI award, which is done by the NIF and Dr. Professor Anil Gupta's organization. So what I feel in general is that innovators, especially young innovators, need mentoring. I mean, one is not, one may have an idea, one may have a technology background, but you may not be able to have access to a variety of other expertise which is needed to make your innovation successful. At times, we lose sight of those other things, which really matter. If you really want to disseminate your idea to a wider audience, or if you want to really make a business out of it. And because I believe that every innovation works in a particular context, something which has succeeded in America or Singapore or need not be a success here, or something which is a great thing here need not be, it can't be planted somewhere else, because innovation and the innovation process are also culture specific. Certain things we want to, of course, technology is great, technology, but we must remember that technology is not the end solution. It is only an enabler. It is helping you to solve a particular problem, and let us not lose sight of that problem. There's no point in just having a whole lot of gizmos, but if you're not able to solve a real problem, then it is no great innovation, I would say. Because a few years back, I was just at one of these IIT festivals, and that was some 5 years back. Things have changed now, I would say, but 5 or 6 years back, they had developed something called in Europe, Norway, and elsewhere. You would have seen there's a coin separator, because you deal with some small coins in Europe, half a cent, 1 cent, 20 cent, 25 cent. So these guys have developed a coin separator, which is a useless thing in India, because we hardly use any coins. We use 1 rupee, or at that time 2 rupees or 5 rupee coins, but we don't deal so much that a small trader would like to have a coin separator. It was a mechanical device which separates coins. So, but it was a very nicely done, nicely designed, and it served the purpose. But I said it has no relevance, cultural relevance. There's no market relevance, nothing. You could say, except in Tirupati Balaji, where people, put a lot of money in the hundi. So they have a different kind of seals to take out different coins. But a trader sitting in Delhi or Bombay or any small town would not like to invest, say, 300,000 rupees in getting a coin separator. But that was an innovation coming from IIT Delhi. So we need to be cultural specific. We need to solve a real problem. I think that's, and use technology by all means. It is an enabler. It will let you do many things. So that's what I think we should keep in mind. Young innovator, of course, the two have very great ideas. Specifically, I will not be able to pinpoint, but certainly that's the way to go.
No, definitely, sir. We need to be grounded in solving real problems, and at least Dr. VK Singh has been a great inspiration for me when it comes to looking at healthcare context, because his kind of one-line sentence is that whatever brings down the cost of care or improves the quality of care. So that has been the motto, when it comes to InnovatioCuris, to filter innovations. And I think India is a country where we definitely needs to look at these kind of aspects. But my next question to Mohit is that, am I overly optimistic, or I'm seeing too many connections here? I think what US may had an ecosystem, let's say 15 years back, and like an inflection point, a lot of people coming out with what we call as big tech today. Are we getting into that kind of hockey stick, Mohit? Do you think? Are we going to explode soon with a lot of game-changing companies and innovations in India?
Sachin, one thing I would like to highlight here, a lot of action is happening on the ground, but again, like Dinesh ji mentioned, and I firmly believe everyone cannot be an entrepreneur, right? Like 3 words, if I say. And if we say again, and sometimes I get afraid of with this thing, I get even jitters that we may not enter into an era where we think that my neighbor's kid is a computer engineer drawing some X kind of package, why not now my son become an entrepreneur or my kid become an entrepreneur and make a unicorn or make a unicorn? That kind of stuff must not happen. On the contrary, I feel happy looking around the situation which is having that students or the young birds, I might not use the word students, and the young birds, they are able to choose what they want to move on with. Abhik is the real life example we have, and Harman is doing what he wants to aspire for. Even my daughters, they are doing what they are aspiring for. Though I and my wife, we are computer scientists, but my daughters are into different domains altogether. So the kind of flair that is happening, it is happening in a very realistic manner. Kids, they are much more enabled with the thing, and I'm not like, I don't think that it is going to happen what has happened in US, that after 15 years or what say, because we have a different structure altogether in our country. The demand and supply, yes, it is there. A lot of technology things are coming in, but one thing certainly I would like to also highlight, that we have to, or we must focus around on social impact of our innovations, on social entrepreneurship, which I believe must be answered into. Everything is not AI, everything is not technology, everything is not blockchain, right? Even if we are sitting on the potholes of the roads today, we need to improve that. If we are not able to provide the good food without any malpractices or in the supply chain, that needs innovation. If we are not able to give proper air to us and our generation, I am not saying even future generation, to us, then it needs innovation. And those are also areas where we must focus, and with the aid of technology. A lot of scope is there in India, certainly, and I do not see that kind of or something that has happened in US, because that is a kind of economy drives by the money, investments, and a lot of things that out there. And in India, yes, a lot of VCs and XYZ Chevy things are coming up. Over the time, I'm sure it will die away. India will mature in the market, where we have more and more meaningful people. They would be coming in and joining the race.
Good. I think it's a good message. Any remarks from you, Dr. Singh? Any observations that you would like to make here for?
I spent 2 minutes not only to thank the panelists and the younger lot which they are doing, but I also would like to thank to my backend team, Alok, Dr. Dablina Bhattacharya, Clarence, Sanjay, and also the Arati, etc. Idea was that to bring the awareness to the people, and I was really like the idea what Mohit has said, that don't forget the human touch. Are you doing innovation for destruction or human angle, or for the benefit of others? Sachin is ethical hacker, and there are one part that this is going to open a Pandora's box, that how these cyber problems will create a problem into the things. I always remember my teacher that I did MBBS when there was only X-ray, no ultrasound, no CT scan, nothing. It was all pulse and human touch. He always said, don't add life to ears, but add ears to life. So don't add ears to life, but add life to the ears. That is more important, and a human angle is more important, that how you can take it forward. The eras have changed. I was looking at it, some of the statistics, that 1 billion people, when they were made aware or they could reach, it took telephone 110 years. It took TV 50 years, it took mobile 20 years, it took internet 15 years, smartphone into 5-6 years, and messages, applications, etc. in 2 years. All that what happened in next 1 billion, everything you could reach in less than 5 years when people talked. And I always remember my granddaughter telling me one day, when I told her we used to walk to go to school, we never had any TV, we never had any mobile, we never had any internet. And she said, "What a miserable life you had, Grandpa." Was it miserable, or I still feel that was wonderful life? I still carried on, etc. So my one younger lot who are around, I would like to say that continue your journey. We have selected one who has done his success and second one who done second success, but the failure, because failure, I always, when I teach in IIM and IIT, I always tell, they analyze the failure rather than success and take those cases study. And that is what Abhik has told again today, and that was really very important. A word of a request to Dr. Mohit, that many things I have come to know today that what you are doing was news to me, to be very frank. That will it be the awareness campaign, or if you want, maybe next time we will request you to write guest column. So let people know that this is happening. At least I consider myself, I read a lot. Of course, Sachin reads much better and much lotter than me, younger, more fertile mind probably. And that is what he does. So, but people are not aware. If many chief minister can spend one full page in Times of India for that one transformer is being inaugurated, why can't we make it aware? Maybe through your school channel you would, but let public also understand. And anyway, if we can be part of it, what we are doing today is the club meeting is a not-for-profit. We will like to continue and contribute for the social good. Dinesh Ji, I met him as a part of the India Science Wire, long, many years association I had. I can't think of media and journalism like him, but he's always on our call and he will do it. Once again, thank you very much. And do let us know if anything we can do. Maybe we can publish stories of innovations and encourage people. We are looking for it. The younger lot can write, they speak very well, they conceive things very well. We are 1.3 billion population. My professor used to say, we always conceive well and do well, but we deliver very difficultly. So probably that is a very correct story. So let's do better delivery system and better methodology. Thank you very much, all the panelists and Sachin and all my backend team, etc., to be with me. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Thank you, Harman. Thank you, Abhik.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dinesh. Thank you, Dr. Mohit.
It was a great pleasure for me to interact with everyone. It was a great honor for me.
Best wishes for both of you. Please take care of your health.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
That is
Yes,
the
sir.
most important thing for, for life.
Yes,
I
sir.
have learned it the hard way, but I request you to take care of your health and,
all the best to Abhik and
So
Harman.
yeah,
Thank you, sir.
that is why doctor is a part of the panel, so that we can take care of your health. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.